Village. Preliminary reports indicate drowning. Belize launches Blue Forum to foster sustainable ocean management and boost blue economies. And will Chandra Kansino be appointed as the next chairperson of the Social Security Board? These are some of the stories we have for you tonight in our newscast for Tuesday, April 1st, 2025.
The New World screwworm poses a significant threat to livestock, pets, and humans. It can cause severe losses if not controlled quickly. Currently, it is not present in Belize. That is why early detection is crucial to prevent its spread. Let us help to keep it out. Don't bring animals from other countries illegally. If you notice maggots, larvae, or worms in unusual wounds, report them immediately. Call Baja at 824-4872 or text 670-7003. Together we can work to keep our country safe from the New World screwworm and save animals. This message was brought to you by Baja, OIRSA, AICA, USDA, and the Ministry of Agriculture, Food Security, and Enterprise.
Coming soon, Pro FC 16. Get ready for an electrifying night of combat sports as Pro FC takes over the Princess Vegas Hotel and Casino in Corazon. On Saturday, May 17th, 2025, witness 14 adrenaline-fueled fights featuring the fiercest competitors from Belize, Mexico, Canada, and Guatemala, all battling for glory and supremacy in the ring. Pro FC 16. Don't just watch the action, be part of it. Pro FC 16, exclusive on the Express Plus app.
Get the most out of your internet with Centaur's ExpressNet. Are you ready to supercharge your online experience? When connecting to your Velo Mesh device, make sure you're linked to our blazing fast 5 GHz frequency. Why 5 GHz? Faster speeds at a shorter range. 5 GHz is perfect for use in smaller spaces where speed is your top priority. As for the 2.4 GHz, while connection may travel farther, it can lead to slower performance. Remember, choose 5 GHz for your devices and experience the difference instantly. ExpressNet, bringing you the best speeds for the ultimate online experience. For more information, contact us at 380-0101.
Good evening. With your news also simulcast on Fiesta FM 106.7. I am Joanna Rodriguez. Tonight, reliable reports confirmed to CTV3 News that Vadim Kulikov, an American expatriate living in Consejo Village, has been located, but tragically he was found deceased. His lifeless body was discovered in an area near the village, raising concerns and prompting an investigation into the circumstances surrounding his untimely death. Preliminary information from local authorities suggests that drowning is the apparent cause of death. The discovery of Kulikov's body has sent shockwaves through the small community of Consejo Village, where he was known to many residents. Authorities are currently conducting a thorough investigation to ascertain the exact circumstances that led to this unfortunate incident. Of note is that Kulikov was last alive on Monday, March 31st, around 2 a.m. In a significant leadership shift, Prime Minister John Briceño is reportedly preparing to appoint Chandra Nisbet Cancino as the new chairperson of the Social Security Board, SSB, following the tenure of Nigel Sosa, who has held the position since late 2020. While some indications are there is nothing set in stone as yet, since discussions began recently, other reports suggest her appointment is official and she will remain as the CEO of the KHMH. If the appointment goes through, Cancino is poised to bring a wealth of experience to the role, having dedicated over 20 years to the Social Security Board. Her prior contributions include serving as the General Manager of Corporate Customer Relations Services from 2014 to 2021, a position in which she demonstrated her keen understanding of the board's operations and commitment to enhancing customer relations. In 2021, she transitioned to the Carl Houston Memorial Hospital, KHMH, where she has actively served as Chief Executive Officer, further solidifying her leadership credentials in the public health sector. Professionally trained as a registered nurse, Nisbet Cancino holds a Bachelor of Science in Nursing from Boston College, a degree she earned through a competitive Jesuit scholarship. Additionally, she possesses an associate's degree in general studies from St. John's Junior College and completed her high school education at St. Catherine's Academy. Her appointment follows Dr. Leroy Almendares' sudden resignation as SSB CEO in January after less than a year. Yesterday, the Court of Appeal denied bail to two defendants, Oscar Salgado and Anki Dome, both citing health issues as a factor in their respective request. Oscar Salgado, currently serving a 10-year sentence for abetment to commit murder, sought bail pending the outcome of his appeal. His attorney, Trinidadian Peter Taylor, argued vigorously that Salgado's health complications warranted temporary release. Taylor presented his case before Justice Arif Bulkan. However, Justice Bulkan ruled against the bail application, asserting that the appeal process has been expedited and is scheduled to be heard in June. The Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP, Sherilyn Vidal, represented the case for the prosecution. In a separate but equally notable case, Anki Dome was also denied bail. Serving a 5-year sentence for cruelty to her child, Dome's attorney, Leo Bradley, filed a similar appeal for bail, citing health issues affecting his client. Justice Peter Foster presiding over the hearing, where Bradley attempted to argue for Dome's release pending her appeal. Following, the request was denied, with the DPP once again representing the prosecutorial interest. Chantel Williams, a 30-year-old resident of Belize City, is facing her second night behind bars after being convicted of manslaughter in the fatal stabbing of her partner, 39-year-old Luis Adolphus. The incident, which took place in their home on Curacao Street, resulted in Adolphus suffering a fatal stab wound to the neck that ultimately caused him to bleed out despite attempts to save him. Medical professionals confirmed that the cause of death was excessive blood loss from the injury. The altercation that led to this tragic outcome reportedly began over an umbrella found in their residence, igniting a heated dispute that escalated to violence. Williams initially claimed to law enforcement that she acted in self-defense, asserting that Adolphus had struck her with the umbrella before she seized a knife for protection. However, late last night, Justice Derek Sylvester delivered a guilty verdict, stating that Williams's actions were not justified under the circumstances. The prosecution presented compelling evidence through the trial, which influenced the jury's decision. The confrontation reportedly erupted in the early morning hours of August 2, 2022, after Williams confronted Adolphus regarding the presence of an umbrella linked to a woman she suspected was his romantic interest. Tensions flared as the couple exchanged accusations regarding Adolphus's past involvement with this woman. The last conversation that Adolphus had with his brother, Emerson Dominguez, who testified that his sibling, sounding alarmed, informed him of Williams's attack with a knife. Dominguez urged Adolphus to contact the police. During this call, Dominguez heard Williams make a chilling remark suggesting that Adolphus had no way to receive help. When police arrived at the scene and spoke with Williams, they noted that she had visible swelling and abrasions on her lips and fingers, which raised further questions surrounding the night's events. As the case unfolds, Williams now awaits sentencing as she begins her time in jail, having been held responsible for a moment that irrevocably altered both her life and the life of Adolphus. Coming up next, an undertaker from the Old Capital is found guilty of unlawful sexual intercourse with a minor. He faces prison time. Stay tuned.
Get the most out of your internet with Centaur's ExpressNet. Are you ready to supercharge your online experience? When connecting to your Velo Mesh device, make sure you're linked to our blazing fast 5 GHz frequency. Why 5 GHz? Faster speeds at a shorter range. 5 GHz is perfect for use in smaller spaces where speed is your top priority. As for the 2.4 GHz, while connection may travel farther, it can lead to slower performance. Remember, choose 5 GHz for your devices and experience the difference instantly. ExpressNet, bringing you the best speeds for the ultimate online experience. For more information, contact us at 380-0101.
Coming soon, Pro FC 16. Get ready for an electrifying night of combat sports as Pro FC takes over the Princess Vegas Hotel and Casino in Corozal on Saturday, May 17th, 2025. Witness 14 adrenaline-fueled fights featuring the fiercest competitors from Belize, Mexico, Canada, and Guatemala, all battling for glory and supremacy in the ring. Pro FC 16. Don't just watch the action. Be part of it. Pro FC 16, exclusive on the Express Plus app.
Patrick Robinson, a 44-year-old undertaker and owner of Leiva's Funeral Parlor, has been found guilty on 3 counts of unlawful sexual intercourse with a minor. The courtroom drama unfolded late Monday evening as Justice Derek Sylvester delivered the verdict, convicting Robinson for offenses involving an 11-year-old girl that continued for 3 years until she was 14. Robinson faced a total of 5 charges during the trial. His legal defense team, comprised of senior counsel Hubert Elbrington and attorney Norman Rodriguez, argued on his behalf, while the prosecution was led by Chantel Fernandez from the Director of Public Prosecution's DPP office. The jury ultimately returned a guilty verdict on 3 of the 5 counts, bringing a somber end to the proceedings. Following the verdict, an overwhelmed Robinson lay down in the back of a police pickup, visibly shaken by the outcome. Robinson now faces a period of incarceration as he awaits his mitigation hearing scheduled for April 25, 2025. It is at this hearing that the court will determine the appropriate sentence for his actions. Today, the Office of the Prime Minister, in partnership with the Inter-American Development Bank, officially launched the Blue Forum under the theme Knowledge, Innovation, and Action for Belize's Ocean and Thriving Blue Economy. This 2-day event brings together key stakeholders from across Belize's marine and coastal sectors to discuss innovative solutions for balancing economic growth with ocean conservation. The forum focuses on Belize's economy, which is deeply connected to its marine resources, making sustainable ocean management essential for long-term economic prosperity. The Blue Forum provides a critical platform to explore strategies for responsible governance, highlighting key topics such as sustainable fisheries, marine protected areas, climate resilience, and role of the ocean in securing livelihoods. CEO of the Ministry of Blue Economy, Beverly Wade, shares the importance of the forum, which in its first day saw presentations from key stakeholders who play a major role in developing and sustaining a more resilient blue economy in Belize.
This forum is really to bring together varied actors within the blue space. We have done a lot in Belize. We have done a lot from a development perspective, from a conservation perspective, and also to see how we can find that balance between conservation and economic growth, responsible economic growth. And what we wanted to do is to have a forum where we have all our actors here. We have stakeholders, resource users, we have the press here, so that we can have the kind of frank engagements. We can account for what we have succeeded with so far. We want to talk about some of the direction that we need to go, and we want to talk about some of the challenges. It's really a call to action. It's a call to action for us to collectively put our efforts together to help us continue to chart a way for a successful blue economy in Belize that's really based on science, informed decision making, and that we have people central to the discussions.
The Blue Forum, which concludes on Wednesday, also seeks to highlight the importance of conservation in maintaining the health and productivity of marine ecosystems.
So the way the forum is set up, as you can see from the agenda, is that we have a series of sessions that we thought we would have organized to touch on various areas, from science to how we're applying that science, to look at community resiliency, stewardship, and of course the big discussions around sustainable financing. We're very fortunate and we're very happy to have the IDB join us in hosting this conference. The IDB has been one of the multilateral development partners that have been working with Belize in looking at sustainable financing and looking at innovation and how do we finance nature. And so the idea is that each session would then lead to discussions. They're kind of like discussions that are based on the presentations, and we are hoping to now have a formal proceedings from this event that would have recommendations that are coming out from each sessions that we would then use as regulatory agencies, as on-the-ground partners, as partners like the development partners, to now identify where are some of those areas that we now need to look at strategically and in order for us to now put our investments in.
Today's keynote speaker was Prime Minister John Bresenio, who reaffirmed Belize's commitment to a more sustainable future. This commitment, according to CEO Wade, can be seen through the work being done across a wide cross-section of policies.
I think Belize is one of the countries, as mentioned earlier, that have a pretty good basket of policies and frameworks. The key, in my view, is that we remain versatile, we remain dynamic. Recognize, as you rightfully said, that there are more things that we need to look at. For instance, I saw in the news a couple of weeks ago the issue that the people in the South continue to grapple with regards to seashore erosion. It's time for us to look at a shoreline policy and to see now how do we now collectively and inclusively bring the science and the expertise together, bring the communities together and develop such a policy so that we can have a hymn sheet that we can all sing from. What is happening is that people are individually and properties are individually trying to find their own solutions to what are happening. And so what we need now is a more comprehensive framework to address that. So in my view, frameworks and policies will never be sufficient to keep up. I guess keep up is the important term there because it shows that we have to be versatile enough, we have to be flexible enough that we identify that there are things that we have to keep up with and we have to ensure that we're in a position to address them.
As previously mentioned, the Blue Forum is organized by the Blue Bond and Finance Permanence Unit within the Office of the Prime Minister in partnership with the Inter-American Development Bank. CEO in the Ministry of Blue Economy and Conservation, Beverly Wade, today also spoke on the growing issue of Belize's reef system, which has been experiencing major trouble in recent years. Now, while the issue of reef destruction is not singular to Belize and is happening around the globe, CEO Wade says work is being done to help alleviate this growing problem.
I think it's one of the things that we're grappling with. The bottom line is that our reefs are in peril. We have come under some of the most extreme temperatures. And we have also now been terribly impacted by the stony coral tissue loss diseases, aside from the other normal diseases that impact reef. And so what we have seen is that there are some resilient areas, and that is one of them. But our reefs on a whole, we have bright spots. There are some areas that we are seeing rebounding. We're hoping it's so. But I think what's more importantly is that we're not just sitting back and just saying, oh, the reef is dying and we're not doing anything. The government of Belize committed to the total protection of 20% of Belize's reef. And that is an important thing for us. And we're actually looking at identifying what that 20% is by the end of this year and to look at how we could designate those areas They're important for us because we have to ensure that we've identified those areas around our reef that are important for genetics, for resiliency, because we have to now have a strategy, which we are also developing a restoration strategy and policy, to see how do we now respond. It's not something that we can respond to easily, but the bottom line is that we are looking at how do we create that pathway for response. So we are looking at that 20% of our reef to be totally protected, and we're hoping that when we close on Resilient Bold Belize, which is the project for finance permanence that the Prime Minister mentioned in his speech earlier, that will allow us now to bring in the kind of management that those 20% may need. That's the first thing. The second thing is that we have excellent work that's being done by our partners on the ground and by the National Coral Reef Monitoring Network, which is currently chaired by the Fisheries Department. But that network is a group of dedicated experts, both government and non-governmental and even community experts that are working on our reef, that are monitoring the extent of bleaching and these events and helping us to put the strategy together for restoration. We are very grateful for organizations like Fragments of Hope. Lisa Karn is one of my champions. Whenever I speak about her, I refer to her as one of our champions. And the work that she does on a daily basis, I think, is underestimated. And so there are organizations like her. She works closely with the various marine protected areas and with the Fisheries Department and partners to try and help us get on top of it. Sadly, globally, reefs are in peril. Countries bigger than Belize, Australia, they themselves are grappling with it. The best way forward for us is that we own it, it's on top of us, and that we chart a way forward. And we're hopeful because with the PFP, Resilient Bold Belize, coming in place, and the fact that we have resources under the Belize Blue Bonds, we'll be in a position to help us drive resources to implement these actions.
And last,
following his defeat in the Colette constituency, Patrick Faber, who is notably known as one of the better-spoken parliamentarians for the UDP, was announced as one of the 3 senators for the opposition. While the transition from the lower house to the upper house, according to Faber, will not be easy, but he is prepared to put in the effort as his party continues in its attempts to reunite.
Well, I conceded. I am not the kind that will cry foul. I believe that there are many things that happened, and I think that it was very blatant in most regards what happened. So, but a loss is a loss. I understood that very well from the night of the election, and I believe that I still have a place with the people of Colette. I am not quick to abandon them. They have made it very clear to me that they still want me to be there as their representative, and so I'm considering that very strongly. I'm not quick to make a decision there, but I don't think that I'll be going anywhere in that regard. But I also believe that I have a very huge role to play in terms of helping to put the pieces back together, if you will, of the party, and so that is my primary role in these early days after the election. I've said on the record here with you that I'm not one who cries for all of these things, but I think something must be said, and I applaud the people for Kaya North for sounding the alarm before Omar Figueroa and the Kaya North folks, for instance, succeeded in the court to prove fraud when it came to those voters that were transferred illegally. We would have thought, well, these things just are as a run-of-the-mill spoken about but not real, until we saw where there was some gain made in terms of proving it in the court. And I think that sent a signal for the nation, even now as we look at what happened during the election. There is no doubt in my mind that some of those same irregularities happened in Colette. There was an abundance of people coming to vote along with the PUP operatives who claim all of a sudden, these are people who I've known all my days in Colette, all my 25 years or so in Colette. All of a sudden they can't read, they can't hold a pen, they don't know how to mark an X. These things were very real. I complained to our returning officer on record quite a few times about photographing ballots. That was very real on election day. So again, while personally I am not one to sit down and cry about the results, these things are very real. It may be, as I said in my post about Kaya North, not something that we want to use to try to overturn the election results now. But if we don't pay attention to these things, because they're very real, if we don't pay attention to them and make complaints about them, this system of democracy that we practice in this country that we've enjoyed so very long will crumble if those of us who have something to say and know what's going wrong don't say anything about it. We are going to suffer the consequences.
So then we should change.
Faber will be joined in the Senate by attorney Sheena Pitts and young political hopeful Gabriel Zatina, who form the 3 UDP members. The Caribbean Development Bank, CDB, is conducting a portfolio review in Belize, focusing on key development projects and financial strategies. Key infrastructure projects, including the 6th Road Coastal Highway Project, Philip Golson Highway, and the 8th Road Project, will be reviewed with presentations from the Ministry of Infrastructure Development and Housing. A significant part of today's agenda was dedicated to climate finance, where CDB experts presented funding opportunities and strategies to enhance Belize's resilience to climate change. Discussions covered the implementation of climate-related projects, including the development of multi-hazard impact-based forecasting and early warning systems for the Belize River watershed. Additionally, Belize Water Services (BWS) presented updates on the 3rd Water Project, emphasizing improvements in water infrastructure and sustainability. Other sessions address procurement, fiduciary matters, environmental and social safeguards, as well as infrastructure and road safety initiatives. The review aims to strengthen partnerships and ensure that climate finance initiatives align with Belize's sustainable development goals. And there is more news after the break. Stay tuned.
Escape to paradise. Centaur is giving you the chance to win an unforgettable getaway at the breathtaking Orchid Bay Resort. Picture this: a stunning beach and a relaxing poolside retreat. One lucky winner will enjoy an overnight stay for 2, plus a delicious breakfast, all courtesy of Orchid Bay Resort. How to enter? Sign up for any Centaur service or stay up to date with your payments for a chance to win. Live raffle draw on April 16th on Despierta Belize show. Enter now to win with Centaur.
Get the most out of your internet with Centaur's ExpressNet. Are you ready to supercharge your online experience? When connecting to your Velo Mesh device, make sure you're linked to our blazing fast 5 GHz frequency. Why 5 GHz? Faster speeds at a shorter range. 5 GHz is perfect for use in smaller spaces where speed is your top priority. As for the 2.4 GHz, while connection may travel farther, it can lead to slower performance. Remember, choose 5 GHz for your devices and experience the difference instantly. ExpressNet, bringing you the best speeds for the ultimate online experience. For more information, contact us at 380-0101.
The Ministry of Agriculture, Food Security and Enterprise (MAFSE), in collaboration with the Taiwan ICDF Breeding Sheep and Goat Production and Guidance System Enhancement Project (Sheep Project Phase 2), held a closing ceremony for the Taiwan ICDF Breeding Sheep and Goat Production and Guidance System Enhancement Project (Sheep Project Phase 2) that was held at the National Sheep and Goat Breeding Center in Central Farm, Kaya District, on March 31, 2025. The ceremony marked the end of a 9-year project that had a total investment of $10,837,108 Belize dollars from Taiwan ICDF and another $1,500,000 Belize dollars from the government of Belize. The project contributed to the vast growth of the sheep and goat subsector in Belize, which saw a 100% growth over 10 years. The project's achievements included the construction of a state-of-the-art national sheep and goat breeding center in Central Farm, the importation of genetic stock of sheep and goats, the training of over 900 farmers, teachers, students, and technicians, the establishment of a traceability system, and the establishment of a functioning local market for sheep and goat products and byproducts. The ceremony not only marked a historical milestone of the breeding sheep and goat industry in Belize, but also highlighted the country's growth within this subsector. The government of Belize expressed heartfelt gratitude to the Republic of China, Taiwan, for contributing greatly to the agricultural sector in Belize. This friendship and collaboration extend beyond the borders of Belize. The government of Belize remains committed to the continued growth of this subsector for the benefit of the farmers and other stakeholders. On Friday, March 28, 2025, a high-level meeting led by Honorable Michelle Shabat, Minister of Public Utilities, Energy and Logistics, alongside the Belize Port Authority, BPA, was held to address recent maritime incidents and enhance safety and security in Belize's maritime space. Key stakeholders from the maritime and tourism sectors, including the Belize Coast Guard, BCG, Belize Tourism Board, BTB, and Tourism Police Unit, TPU, discussed casualties and the collective responsibility to prevent future tragedies. The meeting highlighted the need for both immediate and long-term actions to protect lives, enforce lawful maritime operations, and safeguard the marine environment. Collaboration among government agencies, NGOs, marine protected area, co-managers, and the private sector was emphasized as essential for effective and sustainable solutions. And that's the news. We invite you to join us for another newscast on Wednesday, April 2nd, here on CTV3 News and Face FM 106.7. Remember that to read a text version of the news, you can visit our website at ctv3belizenews.com. You can also log on to our Facebook page for current stories at facebook.com/CTV3BelizeNews or our YouTube channel at CTV3 News BZ. From all of us here at CTV3 News, thank you for watching and listening. Good night.